How tough was Dance Moms on its young cast? Many of us are wondering since Maddie Ziegler recently revealed that her mother apologized for putting her on the show at such a young age. From the cast members getting locked in a bathroom to being taunted by producers, this show may have been worse than we thought. We've got all the behind-the-scenes details. By now, we all know that reality TV is far from reality, but with a series as drama-packed as Dance Moms, it's easy to wonder just how much was actually real, and how much was contrived by producers. Cast members have come out to reveal that much of the series was, in fact, staged and fake. Dance competitions were allegedly faked to comply with child labor laws, but there may have been other reasons too.
They can't go to a real dance competition because they can't go to a real dance competition because they can't con anybody to switch the scores.
Additionally, the famous pyramid was set up by producers.
The producers and Abby had a talk before every single week and talk about what dances and who's where and whatever. As the last season went on, it didn't even matter where you were on the pyramid.
So why even bother with the pyramid if it has no repercussions?
They do the pyramid to kind of start the drama off for the week. Well, it just started to be so nonsense that you couldn't even argue with it.
Fans have also been able to pinpoint moments where the editing deliberately led audiences astray, like clips that were filmed for specific episodes being used in entirely different places to add to the drama. As for the cast members themselves, the versions of them that viewers know wasn't entirely true either. Why? Well, because it was easy for producers to push the young cast members around to stir up drama.
In the first season, I was 7, there was male producers saying, this is what you have to say.
According to Ziegler, producers would ensure that her mom wasn't in the room in order to keep her vulnerable to their requests.
They would say you're the best, say you're better than everyone else, say blah, blah, blah. And so I was perceived kind of like a little brat.
Maddie Ziegler is one of the most well-known Dance Moms cast members there is. This is probably why her recent revelation during an interview on High Low with Emrata had a major impact on the public. Ziegler recalls that last year, she was having a panic attack and called her mom.
Things were coming up from the past and she apologized to me and she was like, I'm so sorry that I put you through that.
Ziegler noted that her mom would never have wanted to hurt her and her little sister Mackenzie, who also participated on the series, but none of them could have anticipated how things would spin out of control and the lasting effect it would have on them.
She really did everything to try and break our contract and pull us out, and eventually did.
By the time their contract was broken, Ziegler recalls being 10 or 11 years old.
Show scouted us when we were 6, 7.
Understandably, Ziegler says that she doesn't remember her life before dancing.
I also have blocked out so much of my childhood that I actually don't know what my life is like even just before working.
It's no wonder then that Ziegler doesn't consider much of her experience on Dance Moms to be positive.
It's weird to find out things that I did when I was younger on TikTok. I don't even remember doing that.
While it's clear that Ziegler has repressed some memories of what we all watched on TV, these days she's focused on doing the work to reprogram her brain and reject the perfectionism she was taught at a young age.
My thought process when I was younger, also through my dance teacher, was you have to be the best.
And while some aspects of Dance Moms may have been faked for the cameras, the pressure Abby Lee Miller put on the dancers clearly wasn't.
You're being abused. You want to disappear. You don't want anyone else to know.
Ziegler even notes that while she got a reputation for being Miller's favorite student, this just meant the expectations that were placed on her were even stricter.
I just want to make Abby, my team, and my fans proud.
Ultimately, Ziegler is appreciative of her career that was kicked off by Dance Moms, but she doesn't condone much of what was done to her.
Things that the show promoted, and it's very not what I stand for, having an older woman yelling at kids.
In retrospect, Ziegler recognizes how toxic this situation really was for children.
I feel that's obviously not a great environment, and I'm glad that we've grown up and gotten out of that.
Abby Lee Miller's treatment of her students was clearly one of the most difficult parts of being on the series for the children, and if you've seen even just the clips of the show, you already know what we're talking about. Miller was known for being hard on the girls. In fact, that was a lot of the draw of the series in the first place. Miller boasted a reputation for being tough as nails and having tactics that made her dance students better, while also stirring up plenty of drama.
Nice job, Chloe! Huh?
Yet, it's clear that Miller's treatment of the girls goes far beyond that and beyond what is reasonable. When asked by a reporter for a piece of advice regarding how to deal with Miss Abby,
Don't cry if she yells at you. Don't contradict her.
another draw of the series was how Miller fought with the titular dance moms, often loudly and right in front of the children.
Save your tears for the pillow.
Don't talk to me like that. I'm an adult.
Right, so you shouldn't be sitting here boo-hooing.
When asked by the same reporter how the next season would stack up to those that came before, they shared,
A little different. It's a little bit more violent.
the girls definitely see the moms fight.
You know, it's impossible to have them out of the room every time we're going to argue, and it really does upset the kids.
Clearly, for a series that's centered around children, the adults behind the show weren't thinking too much about the children's needs. Yet, the surprising environment behind the scenes went far beyond what we saw on screen. Neglect of the young cast members was also pervasive on set. In fact, producers would deliberately harm the children in order to create increased drama for when the cameras started rolling. Moms from the show recalled when the producers locked the kids in the bathroom just to get a rise out of the moms when they couldn't find them. The girls were huddled together and crying when they were found. Their basic needs were often ignored as well. JoJo Siwa is another one of the famous faces who started out as a dancer on the series. Since more former cast members have come out about their experience on the series, Siwa took to TikTok to discuss her own time as a cast member.
Okay, that is the truth. I don't regret doing Dance Moms. It made me who I am today.
She did, however, share one surprising regret.
And that is that I did not watch the movie Carrie.
Siwa thinks that Abby Lee Miller was right about this. Watching the movie would have helped her with character development for her Carrie-inspired routine. Still, while it's clear that Siwa tries to stay positive about her experience on Dance Moms, she's had her subtle ways of sharing how she feels. She once shared a TikTok clip of Miller asking Siwa's classmates to stand in front of the class and give reasons why Siwa should be kicked out of the dance company. She used the caption, "When people hate to try and hurt me, but this was my childhood." In the clip, Miller yells at Siwa to stop crying, to which Siwa famously replies,
Well, if you yell at me, I'm gonna cry.
Unfortunately, treatment from Abby Lee Miller weren't the only difficult parts of being on Dance Moms. Simply being on television at such a young age presented its own set of problems. Maddie Ziegler can't believe the things that the public witnessed her doing on the series that she doesn't remember herself.
They almost know more about my little self than I do.
Other cast members say that contrived plot lines resulted in them getting threats from the public.
They set up situations that might have not actually happened. It got to the point where I was getting threats.
Cast member Kendall has also been open about how growing up on camera has affected who she is today.
It was definitely tough going through all of those emotional roller coasters of like getting screamed at and then getting praised and then telling you that you suck at dancing.
Like many of her castmates, she feels that being taught to deal with this kind of feedback at such a young age gave her a thick skin as an adult. But being in the public eye came with its own set of lessons.
Growing up in front of a camera, it's just such a crazy perspective because you have to watch what you say, you have to watch what you do, watch how you act.
Cast members recall that Abby repeatedly threatened to kick dancers off the show if they didn't perform how she wanted, and they were often kicked off by producers.
JoJo's like stressing, and I hear Abby say to the producers, if she forgets this dance, she's done.
Like, Abby can't say, I'm gonna kick you off the team. Like, it's up to the producers. It's not actually up to Abby, and Abby was the one saying that I was gonna get kicked off.
So you may be wondering, where is Abby Lee Miller now? Well, she sold the Abby Lee Dance Company, but she's still teaching dance. That said, she's being sued by a former student, so if it wasn't already clear, in retrospect, Miller's students have some pretty mixed feelings about the dance teacher. What do you think about the treatment these young cast members received while working on Dance Moms? And what do you think of Maddie Ziegler's mother's apology? Let's discuss this in the comments. And for more behind the scenes details, be sure to like and subscribe to The Things.